How's it, and welcome to the Citroen C5 Aircross. This is a crossover. It's not a hatch and it's not an SUV. It's kind of a something in between, and there's stuff flying around the boot. It's only flying around the boot because I've brought this Aircross to a mountain road which has some twisties in it, and that was not a good idea at all. So this Aircross is as I said, it's like a cross. It sits between a hatch and an SUV. So more ground clearance than like hatches and bigger than a hatch, but not quite like SUV level. But this is actually a fantastic little car. It's quite square, but it pulls off the square thing rather nicely. The interior is like it's like a square themed car. It's not actually square. Like everything's a little bit rounded, but it's very, very nice indeed. Lots of cool little details. Like on the outside, it's got those kind of red things. I'm not even sure what they are. They kind of look like air vents. They're not really vents. This is like red decals or red highlights on the outside of a dark car. It looks really cool. The roof rails have like red in them. That's just epic. There's some red stitching inside. They've kind of gone above and beyond just making this kind of cool. It comes with a hell of a lot of tech as well. So there's a fully digital display in the front. It's got a 8-inch display in the center. My display that I'm looking at has got about 20 different settings. It's got lane assist technology. It's got collision avoidance technology. All this stuff, and this is the kicker, all this stuff comes standard. So it's really well equipped. It only costs R500,000, which is pretty standard for a car like this. Got a couple of niggly bits on it, but the kind of thing that you learn to live with and that you can overlook. So like the one niggly bit is that the center infotainment system, which controls 90% of the vehicle, is a little bit annoying. Like I can't change the temperature without looking down, finding the temperature button, pressing it, waiting for the temperature functions to appear on the screen, and then changing the temperature. Kind of a little bit distracting when you're driving, but not the end of the world. And talk about driving, it actually drives really, really nicely. It's quite comfortable. It's a very pliable drive, which makes it problematic in the corners. Like it's a bit soft, so it's wonderful to drive on a normal road and in town and on the highway. It's great, but you chuck this thing into a corner. So it's the lane assist technology trying to prevent you dying. The car's quite wobbly in the corner. Nothing to get too worried about though, because this is not the kind of car you're going to go fast in. It's only got 121 kilowatts, and that is produced from like a 1.6 liter engine. So yeah, it's not bad. It's not fast enough to be like fun, but it's fast enough to not be not fun. Make sense? Fuel economy it's average. It's not high, it's not low, it's just absolutely average. It's actually just an incredibly comfortable car. It's got this weird gear lever thing going down in the center here. It's got a start-stop button, which you're gonna hold for a second or two before the car actually starts. Makes an awful lot of binging and dinging noises when you get stuff wrong. Like if you open the door and the ignition's not off, it's like a weird chime. But all in all, this is a very, very pleasant car. Like if you have a family with 2 kids and a dog, you got a massive boot at the back. You can get the dog in, you can get the 2 kids in. Maybe you put the kids in the boot. It's really quiet on the road too. So it's the kind of car where you can do a long journey and you won't come out the other side terribly exhausted. It's got all the usual stuff. It's got an air con. It makes you cold. It makes you hot. It defrosts, demists. I will give Citroen 1,000,000 car points for the fact that the only button in this thing that is turnable or actually pressable is the volume control. You hit that sucker and it kills it, or you rotate it to make it louder or softer. And that is just genius design. So many cars today have the slidey thing or the digital button you need to tap, and it's a pain in the arse. You're driving along, you need to turn the volume down, but it takes you like all of 17 seconds to like actually figure out where this button is, and you're trying to poke at it. In the meantime, you've driven into the gate. It's a disaster. It's just a disaster. So well done to Citroen for putting that in there. This is like gears down if you need to go up the hill a couple of times. This is a fantastic little car. I'm really enjoying it. It looks nice too. As I said, it's like kind of got a boxy feel to it, but it doesn't feel like you're driving a bread bin, you know. I actually think they nailed the design. This is properly French. So as I said, all of this goodness is going to cost you about half a bar, which is pretty average price wise. I think what you get in the C5 Aircross though, in terms of extras as standard, is the thing that would sell me on this car. Like the amount of extras you get here, like just standard in the car, is actually quite a lot. I'm not going to bore you with the details. I'm sure you can Google them, but like there's a charging mat in the center there, and it's like standard. It's got USB ports, and it's like, well, USB ports should be standard. It's like a fuel tank, you know. You don't buy a car and not get a fuel tank. But all these safety features, the collision avoidance control, the lane change assists, all these things are the digital dash, like all standard on this car. It's just fantastic.